And it's complete disaster. It's a complete disaster. It's smoke and mirrors, guys. Smoke and mirrors. And I'm hot about it. Because this mayor does not care about Chicago police officers, period. She doesn't care about any first responders. She doesn't care about the damn city. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, other, straight, gay, Democrat or Republican. She don't even care about her city workers. All that lady cares about is her self. And I pray you're watching this because you're a disgrace. And I'm tired of it. And your city is tired of it. Matter of fact, it's not your city. The city of Chicago is tired of it. And I know you don't like me. And that's okay because I love you. But I'm tired of you because you're an absolute disgrace to everyone within the city. And Superintendent Brown, I actually have some respect for you because you're an actual police officer, a black man, kind of made it. But your hands are tied. I get it. But you've got to stand up and do your job. Before the politics, you are a cop. And it's brotherhood out there. It's a sisterhood out there. And you should get that.
All right, guys. So that was 911 police dispatcher Keith A. Thornton, who went on a viral rant on Facebook ripping Lori Lightfoot for basically abandoning the city and letting criminals run the city, okay? And I'm telling you, this guy went off. This guy went off. He spilled all the beans on Lori Lightfoot and how she's failing this city, putting the lives of the people in danger of the city because all she cares about is herself, according to that guy, right? And I believe him. I believe him, okay? Somebody please send this video to this guy because I want to talk to him. I would be more than happy to have him on my channel to talk to him about what's going on with Lori Lightfoot and how she's failing the citizens. But before we get more into this conversation, let's actually play some highlights of some other things that he said so that you guys can get a deeper understanding of some of the problems that he's highlighting in this city, right, of Chicago. And we're also going to play a clip from Inside Edition that highlights some more things that this dispatcher has been speaking out about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
What's going on? So much nonsense going on. No matter where you go throughout the world, I travel everywhere. I love to go places. Okay, Philippines, this place, that place. When you say Chicago, people are afraid. It's like it's a death zone. And I'd always be the one to stand up for my city and say, no, it's not like that. You have to visit. But it's quickly turning into a death zone. All right. So within this death zone of a city, you now have politicians, specifically the mayor. You have the superintendent of police, who I have nothing negative against. However, I believe his hands are tied and he can't do his job effectively. So you can't stand up and do your job appropriately because someone's tying your hands, which is the mayor, and I get that. She's a bully. Well, then we're screwed because then it's just a trickle effect all the way down to the people who are leading these police stations, and we have nothing to work with. We're not talking about West Side today. We're not talking about South Side. We all know about those areas as well. Blacks, Latinos, you know, no one really gives a shit about them anyhow. Right? That's just how it is. I'm one of them, okay? But today we're talking about the northwest side of Chicago. And this was brought to my attention by several of my officers who texted me, okay, and said that they were scared. They're tired of this nonsense. They have no backing, and they're scared of being out there by themselves. And then your mayor has the audacity to start stripping officers and say, you know what? Go home. Give me everything. Oh, well, you're not allowed to come to work because I gave you a mandate to do this and to report back to me your COVID status. Many of them haven't. So she's stripping officers. So we're in this shithole already. And then she's stripping officers. I'm out here. Any of you need me or want me? I'm out here. The people in this area are out here. But if I don't hear a voice from whomever that's supposed to be in this local community, then you're going to have to hear my voice. Because I'm tired of people stepping on wonderful people within this city, within these neighborhoods, who bust their ass, going to work, doing what they do, keeping it clean, and just trying to live a nice life. And they can't. Because you guys are allowing this lady to be the police superintendent. She's taking away resources and manpower and saying, you and your constituents. I'm not giving you shit. The officers up there. Split them and make them 99 cars to go by themselves. And if something happens, I'll go on the news several days later and act like I gave a shit and say I'm sorry for the loss to this such and such family. It's bullshit. And the whole spiel, guys, of them coming on the news all the time saying robberies are down, shootings are down, carjackings are down, burglaries are down, home invasions are down, stabbings are down, all of that nonsense, it's all garbage. It's all a lie. All of it is a lie, and that's throughout the city. It's a lie. Believe that shit if you want. It's a lie. And it's popping off on the west side. It's popping off south side. Downtown is blowing up as well. But up here, where I'm at, where I've grown up, where I have many friends, it's not good. And I'm not going to let my voice go unnoticed. This city is burning. And either I can let it burn, either you guys can let it burn, or we can stand up, do something about it, and get burned for it. This mayor does not care about Chicago police officers, period.
A Chicago 911 dispatcher is stirring up controversy, slamming Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
I pray you're watching this, because you're a disgrace. And I'm tired of it.
Just months ago, dispatcher Keith Thornton was lauded for his precise coordination in the Chicago police shooting that killed Officer Ella French and wounded her partner.
Stay off my air, stay off my air. Everybody stay off the air. I got an officer down, 6'3" in bail. Start rolling.
But today, he's making headlines for this 28-minute-long Facebook post against Mayor Lightfoot.
Go respond to a call and get shot.
The dispatcher, who's a former Los Angeles cop, blames the rise in violence in Chicago on Lightfoot for police staffing shortages. Theft is up in Chicago and the surrounding areas. And in Chicago, there have been more than 794 murders this year, which is a 61% increase since 2019. I spoke with dispatcher Keith Thornton.
Is this the right way to voice your displeasure?
I tell you what, you're going to have different criticism coming from everywhere. You got good, you got bad. You could take one situation and have 1 million people see it in a good way and 1 million other people see it in a bad way.
A lot of these problems with the police force are because they refuse to get vaccinated and they are out with COVID. This doesn't have anything to do with your mayor.
This is a problem of the mayor because there should be no mandate. Many officers are actually vaccinated, but they do not want to report and let their job know that they are vaccinated because it's their right, medical.
Keeping you safe is my priority.
Mayor Lightfoot is now calling on the U.S. Attorney General to send in federal agents. But that's not enough for this fed-up dispatcher.
This mayor does not care about Chicago police officers, period.
All right, guys. So I know that was long, but I just want you guys to get the gist of what this man was saying because he went in, right? It was 28 minutes of fire, right? Fire, war, raged on Lori Lightfoot, okay, who he says is responsible for a lot of the crime going on in Chicago. Okay, now we've talked about this a lot. I've talked about Lori Lightfoot in Chicago a lot. Okay, I think her priorities are out of line. She refused help when Trump offered it, right? Instead, she wanted money for investment in black and brown communities, right? Instead of actually having feet on the ground and officers on the streets to protect those black and brown communities, okay? And now all of a sudden, she's begging Joe Biden for help, okay? Because she has lost control, right? And I think that this police dispatcher here brought up a lot of great points. Right. And one of the great points I think he brought up was the fact that the mainstream liberal media, they're going to say, well, it's COVID. It's the mandates. Right. That's why officers are not on the streets. That's why there's a lack of people in the workforce, right? And this dude's like, no, BS, right? It's her fault because there shouldn't be a mandate in the first place. How in the world can you have a mandate, especially specifically a medical mandate, when you have a city that is crime infested, right? You're not in a position to mandate anything because you just need bodies on the streets, right? You need people on the ground. You need officers on the streets. So there should be no mandate. And apparently there are a lot of officers that have been vaccinated. They just don't want to report their vaccination status because it's their business, right? They feel like it's, their private medical information that they don't want to give to the government because of some mandate. It is what it is. So this mayor thinks that she's in a position to fire officers and to get rid of folks when her city is a disaster. It's a disaster. And I'm so glad that this man is speaking out, right? Because this is what you need. You need regular people who are on the ground, who are involved, who are doing this stuff to speak up and tell us what's going on, right? This guy, throughout that 28-minute rant, he went through everything. He went through the logistics. He went through all that. You can tell this guy knows his stuff, right? He knows the operations of the Chicago Police Department, and he knows when something is wrong, right? He knows what's not working, okay? And I pray that this mayor and the police chief or the superintendent, whatever you want to call him, I pray that they listen to this guy, right? Take his advice. He's on the ground. He knows. And try to fix what's going on in this city. But I highly doubt it, right? Because Miss Lori Heavyfoot is too worried about Kwanzaa, right? And diversity and inclusion, okay? And stuff like that. But hey, my message to this guy is this, man. This is what you vote for, right? I don't know who he voted for, but I'm just saying in general, the citizens of Chicago voted for Lori Lightfoot, right? And this is what you get when you let far left, woke revolutionary progressives run your city. Okay, this is what's happening in San Francisco, LA, New York, all across the country when it comes to these big cities that are run by leftists, right? They're all in shambles. They're all in ruins. Partly because of the leadership, partly because of the progressive criminal justice reform system that allows these criminals back on the streets, right? They're catch and release, okay? This is what happens. Innocent people get hurt. So when y'all go and vote, maybe next time y'all need to let go of the whole race conversation, okay? And start thinking about, okay, which one of these candidates are going to keep my city safe, right? Which one of these candidates is going to be tough on the criminals, okay? That's probably what you should vote for when the next mayor race comes up, okay? Get some conservatives in office. I guarantee you, if a lot of these liberal cities was ran by conservatives, I ain't even gonna call them Republicans. But I'm just saying, conservatives. If it was ran by a conservative, tough on crime conservative, I guarantee you, none of this would be happening, right? Start putting some real conservatives in place in office, and I guarantee you, these cities will get cleaned up. So, hey, like I said, man, I hate to see it, but this is what a lot of these people vote for. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.